There are bad neighbors, and then there are HOA Karens who think private property is just a polite suggestion. You ever deal with someone so entitled, so delusional, that you start wondering if reality skipped them entirely? Yeah, that's Angela, our reigning HOA dictator with a power trip longer than a CVS receipt. Buckle up, because what she tried pulling on me wasn't just outrageous, it was nuclear stupid. Welcome to HOA Karen Chronicles. Comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story goes. One faithful day, Angela, my HOA president, strutted up to my house like she owned the entire county, dragging along her minions, three board members who nodded at everything she said like bobbleheads at a car show. She didn't even bother with small talk, just launched straight into her proposal. Her daughter's wedding, according to her, simply had to be at my ranch, not just because it was the perfect backdrop, but because it would bring prestige to the community. Translation: free luxury venue without permission. I laughed in her face, politely of course, then told her absolutely not. Once I allowed one circus, my land would turn into Times Square every holiday. She tried buttering it up by saying they'd pay, clean afterward, even throw in exposure for my property. Exposure? What was I, an Instagram influencer? I told her no again. Firmer this time. Angela's face twisted into that Karen grimace, the one that looks like she just swallowed expired milk. She wasn't used to rejection. I half expected her to stomp her feet. Instead, she stormed off, tossing over her shoulder, "You'll regret this." Now, when someone like Angela says that, you don't laugh it off. You get your popcorn ready. But what came next? Let's just say she tried sneaky instead of loud. A few days later, I was sipping coffee on my porch when a landscaping crew pulled up to my ranch. Bright vests, shiny tools, and enough flowers in the back of their truck to make a florist jealous. They walked straight toward my gates like they owned the place. I stopped them and asked what they were doing. The foreman, sweating bullets, told me they were contracted to decorate the venue for an event. An event? On my land? That was my cue to shut this down fast. I told them unless they wanted to redecorate the county jail, they better turn their truck around. They didn't argue. They packed up quicker than a magician's rabbit disappearing. As they left, I noticed Angela standing across the street, half hidden behind her mailbox, pretending to check her mail. Her smug little smirk gave it away. She was testing me, like I wouldn't notice her pawns crawling onto my property. I yelled across the road, "Nice try, Angela! Next time, send clowns. At least they'd match your leadership style." She huffed, turned red, and scurried inside like a raccoon caught in daylight. The next morning, she came over again. This time, her tone was softer, fake sweet. She claimed her daughter was heartbroken, practically in tears, and that I was ruining a once-in-a-lifetime moment. She even offered to cover double the cost of renting another venue. But I knew better. Her daughter's tears were just a tool in Karen's emotional warfare. I told her no again, slower this time, just so it sank into her skull. She didn't argue. She didn't scream. She just nodded quietly and left. That silence, way too suspicious. And I was right. By Saturday, when I checked my ranch, I found it transformed into a full-blown wedding venue. Chairs, tents, champagne fountains, the whole circus. If you're enjoying the story so far, like and subscribe for more top-notch HOA dramas. As I approached the scene, two beefy guys in cheap suits stepped in front of me, arms crossed like budget security guards. One of them barked, "Private event, sir. You can't come in." I almost choked from laughing. "Private event?" I snapped back. "Buddy, this is my ranch. Unless either of you grew crops here last spring, you've got no authority." But before they could mumble another excuse, Angela herself strutted out in a glittering dress, waving like a queen at her coronation. Her face was glowing with that smug, "I won" expression. She actually thought she pulled it off. That was the moment I decided. No police, no lawsuits, just straight-up poetic justice. I walked right past her guards, grabbed my industrial power hose from the barn, cranked it to full blast, and unleashed the ultimate wedding shower. 1 second, the bride was posing for photos. The next, her makeup was running faster than a melting popsicle. The groom's slicked back hair turned into a drowned rat. The guests screamed as their designer suits and gowns sank into thick mud. Champagne towers collapsed like dominoes, cakes dissolved into sugary soup, and the DJ's speakers fizzled out with a sad zzzt. Angela shrieked louder than a fire alarm, trying to block the hose with her arms, but all she managed to do was spin in circles like a soaked sprinkler. I couldn't stop laughing. Every dollar she wasted, every smug word she spat, washed down into the dirt before her eyes. The entire event collapsed in chaos, guests slipping, caterers cursing, decorations floating away like soggy confetti. That day, her empire of arrogance drowned in mud and humiliation, and I stood there, hose in hand, delivering karma 1 gallon at a time. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Have you had a similar encounter with a Karen HOA or anyone in the HOA board? Let us know in the comments.